tonight's shave with this Wolfman 54 gap WR1. A little bit milder than the standard gap, and I like that. The badger brush here, I've raised it up just a little bit with a plastic washer below the knot, adhered to the handle with silicone. And so I'm looking forward to seeing if this frees up some of the density to act a little bit nicer for me and give me a little bit less backbone. That's a lot of people like backbone, and that's okay. But right now it's giving me a little too much, and I've used it maybe 6 times or so, and it didn't really seem like it was changing too much. Badgers don't change a lot. It was opening up a little bit, you know, and so it didn't seem like it was going to change enough. So I decided, let's just go ahead and pop the knot out, stuck a washer in there. So let's see if we can tell the difference. The blade we'll put in is kind of a touchy little blade for me. It's very sharp, Kai, and it is just sometimes unpredictable and not super smooth. It's just been used a couple of times. Let us quickly get the razor. Got rails there, ridge there and there. Make sure the blade falls in there. Check for just to make sure everything's, you know, aligned right, and it is, and we're good. Don't really have to check blade alignment, just to make sure that the ridges, the rails are going in the right slots, and then you're good. The soap today is Cella, one of my favorites. It's not the best performing soap, but man, I love the scent. It was this very puck actually was here with me in the very beginning when I started learning. And so it's just, you know, I don't know if it's the cool little red tub, something about it I just like. And so we're going to be just stirring up lather right in it, and we'll get to that here shortly. During the break, I also just splashed on a little water, let the hairs on my face start kind of relaxing and get a little softer. This brush holds a lot of water, and it's a 26mm knot, Finest Badger from Stirling. Look at all the water. And then this is a CravingShaving handle. I really like it. Ergonomic, nice coloring. Very happy to have it. And here is the Cella. Hasn't been used in a while. We're going to do about a 40-second load and see how that works out. 40 is coming around on the clock there. So let's just see how that treats us. So 20 seconds after the turn of the minute. With a small tub, Cella is not as nice to load in as, you know, Stirling or Barrister and Man. But hopefully I can get some consistent results, and I'll have to go to scooping, which is not really a problem, but just seems to be less part of the experience. And there we go. 40 seconds. So that's kind of what it looks like. If it would have been a wetter brush, it would have been a lot more than this on the threads and coming out of the puck. Just going to rinse off the threads now. Dry off the sides, and I just there's no standing water in there, and I just let this sit during the shave, and then I cap it off at the end. That's my preference. Some people let it go for a whole 24 hours before they cap it off. And we can now take the lather bowl. It's one by Roger Quintero and computer printed. And if you want one and you have access to a computer printer, there's a link in the description of the video. Now I hope that extra washer I put in allows more of the bristles to splay, allows it to splay more easily, so that I get less backbone. One thing I saw in my notes was that with Cella, I do not need to take it as far as I normally do, where it's all elastic looking, that sort of thing. Cella's more of a higher structure, which I need to stop a little sooner, not let it get so stretchy and elastic, because if it has gotten that in the past and it was just a little too it wasn't creamy and it lost some of that slickness. Some soaps are just different. I think one time I even made a note that I only used half a teaspoon of water. That seems to be nuts, but maybe I just left too much water in the brush. It was with a badger, and so maybe there was just lots of water in the brush, and so that kind of accounted for it. I mean, I've just put a 1 teaspoon in, and here's the lather that we have. Looks really nice. So it does stir up a lather pretty quick. Let's test this guy out before I add more water. Oh, nice and creamy. Oh, that's good. Oh yeah, see, that's what I want. That's how I want it to feel. Let's add a little bit more water. Take it nice and easy, because we don't want to get out of this zone. My preference is to stay in this creamy zone, but put as much water in it as I can to make it really slick, and while still not leaving the creamy zone. Looks great. Stays in a dollop, like whipped cream, something like that. Yeah, that feels great. I might add just a little more water. So this is my last shave, being fun and carefree, because next shave is going to start the Lather Games, and it is an online community, the wet shaving subreddit, and for every day of the month of June there is a calendar, and you try to follow the theme of the day. Some of the themes are European soaps only, dark, dirty soaps like vetiver or something like that. Maybe something from Maggard, because Maggard is very involved in that particular subreddit. They do so many good things on it that they get a special day. Barrister and Man, one of the most popular soaps on that particular forum, and so they get a special day. And 2 other vendors also. Not a lot of vendors do, but some are, American soaps only, or your favorite soap, or soap that was before you were born. So different themes like that. All right. So we're ready to put lather on. A little splash of face. A little bit of water. And we'll see how this brush responded to the increase in loft. Still quite dense. I'm getting that great Cella scent. Almond, marzipan, cherry kind of scent. Still feeling that density. It's nothing like my silver tips from the Golden Nib or Whipped Dog. So it seems like I made a good decision to go ahead and raise it now. How do I feel about the amount of water? Let's put a little bit more in there. Yeah, that's better. So these tips are really soft. But there's just a lot of them. And so you're not going to get a lot of flow through with this one because it's a dense knot. And so if you like kind of that wall or a ball of soft badger, then you're going to be really happy. All right. Oh, I think my knot may be coming loose. I may not have glued it quite enough. Put that washer in there, and I may have needed to put a little bit more. Better safe than sorry in a sense, because you can always yank it out and re-glue it. But lather looks great. All right, let's see how this Kai does. Kind of wild razors. Wild razor blades, rough ones, are often tamed by a mild razor head. And it seems at first impression that that's exactly what's going on, because this feels very good. I've definitely put this Kai blade in other razors and it just roughed me up a bit. Not feeling a lot of the blade edge, just feeling nice cuts, feeling the hairs being cut. Very, very pleasant. All right, rinse this off. And so with the Lather Games, you can play as much as you want. Diversity is encouraged, and so if you can use a different razor every day, different blade every day, a different soap maker every day, you might get some bonus points because there are prizes. I'm going to treat this brush gently until I know, yeah, I can feel it kind of knocking a little bit there. See if it holds together. I may be gripping I did let it cure for 2 days. I feel like that's long enough. I don't think I started to use it too early, but that is possible. There we go. Cross grain now. Well, Kai blades are expensive, but I have not wanted to buy any. bought this one from tryablade.com. Great place to get singles of exotic blades that you may want to try. And I have never, this is the best razor I've had it in, which admittedly hasn't been too many, but it works out with this one for my skin. Other people may be able to use Kais in just about anything, and some may not be able to use it in anything at all. Very nice, comfy, really comfy, smooth shave, no irritation at all. So we've got tons of lather. I'm about to put on my third pass here, and now I've still got 2 or 3 passes left in the thing. This lather's terrific. And I do think I've got the right, close to the right loft set here. Should be enjoyable once I firm it up. Let it cure, put enough glue on it. And I think I dialed in the Cella just right. I've definitely used Cella when it's been too thin, because I wasn't paying attention and I let it, I made it too elastic, and it functions, works great. It just doesn't give you that creamy, luxurious feeling, and that's kind of what I like to go to. I think the Kai has only, this blade has only seen 2 uses. It's treating my neck area really nicely. I am being careful. I'm not zipping around like an idiot. I'm watching my angles, and I'm watching the angle that I hold the handle of the razor, you know, far away from my face, etc. I'm holding it loosely so that the razor moves over contours instead of through them. And I'm also watching the, because I can stir up irritation if I go against the grain. I'm also remembering the grain and going in the right angles and directions and movements to make sure I don't hit an against the grain section. And that takes a while to figure out sometimes if you've got whirly, windy areas. All right, let's rinse off this third pass. Quick, good shave. So I went ahead and yanked the knot out because it was kind of only half connected, so that I could really strop the knot here up on the towel, and you can see how it has bloomed, and it's just a great little knot. And I may even add, here's that black washer that's in there, nylon washer. I may even, it's secure, and so I can just lay some silicone on top of it. I may even stick another washer on there, lift the knot up even more. But I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll see how I feel. But just silicone is all it takes. I just happened to use a little bit too little previously. And so I'll just use some more and I'll be fine. So I think I liked the way that knot was behaving in the very beginning, in that first pass, lathering up for it. I was able to feel it, and I think I like the way it was heading. Very nice. I'm happy with that. So once I do get it set up, I think it'll be good. So face feels great. Post shave on this soap is very nice. It is not drying or irritating my face at all. It's not itchy or anything like that. The cool thing about Cella, one of the cool things is the lack of preservatives. They don't put anything like that in there. So if you buy that big kilogram block, you need to preserve it, put it up into an airtight container, something like that. Maybe even in a fridge, or something, vacuum seal packaging or something like that, so that you can so that it keeps All right. So if you don't like those extra additives and preservatives in your soap, then it might be a good option for you. It's been around for a long time. It's an Italian soap, and since 1899. Pretty cool. And sometimes I just, I love all the scents like leather and wood and oud and vetiver and that whole manly type scent, sandalwood, that whole genre, right? But there's something about this just kind of cherry almond scent that works for me too. Expand my horizons. I'm going to clean up, and it looks like I used 1 3/4 teaspoons of soap, teaspoons of water for that 40-second load. And this particular brush looked like it picked up a good bit of soap because I have this much left over. So I did do a full 3 pass. And so I'm guessing that maybe a 30-second load next time with this particular brush, maybe with a smaller diameter brush with maybe with less backbone or less bristles, it may need the 40 seconds. It all depends on your brush and stuff. All right, really happy with everything. There's that good scent, and it was available during the shave. Not super strong. It's not going to overwhelm anybody, but it was enjoyable during the shave, so I like it. Hey, so Cella may be, it's not going to be as good as the Artisans. It may not be as good as some of the mass-produced hard soaps like maybe D.R. Harris or Prix de Provence, maybe Mitchell's Wool Fat. It may not be quite that luxurious, quite that creamy, but it comes pretty darn close. And especially when you consider that I buy this little tub. This one, not too expensive, but you buy that 1 kilogram block of soap, and you can refill this tub 7 or 8 times, and that's just $30. And that's just a little bit more than 1 tub of the Artisan soap, and it's going to last you a very long time. I think maybe you could probably get a tub of this to last 3 months, 4 months, and so times that by 7 or 8, and your price per shave drops down really low, and it's probably one of the best deals out there. And it smells good, and it performs really well, at least for me, at least where I really enjoy it. And you saw my lather. It's pretty good lather. Nice and slick and creamy. So big vote, at least for me. And so here's a little close up. I don't often show you the bowl, just a plain old flat bottom, and this flange lets me hold it. And I think I might like the concentric circles a little better than this spoke type design, but it definitely works to help to stir up the lather, that's for sure. And my favorite parts of this bowl are the size. It lets me work, plenty of room to work and hold the lather that I need. Second favorite thing is this internal lip that just helps to keep that lather. I spend a whole lot less time working to keep the lather in the bowl while I'm stirring. And then third favorite thing is, or the third of my favorite things, is this brush rest. I had no idea when I knew that it looked cool when he designed it. I knew that I could put my thumb this way, but it doesn't really, I don't have a big sink. And so if I set it down on the counter like this, then my brush is hanging off the side and it could drop into my trash can. And so I have to turn it this way so that the brush is pointed inward. And so that's okay because I just hold it like this. No big deal. But the surprise was, as I have put every, 30 different brushes through it, it has held them all balanced nicely. And some of those other bowls, like the fine lather bowl, and there's another one called the Perioria or something that looks really good. I'd love to try that one. But both of those use it's almost like a half section of pipe or cutout. And so it's long. And so depending on where where the curves are in your handle, that depends on where it would balance. And sometimes it would put the balance in weird ways. Well, but this one, you know, usually the brush knot, of course, is going to be on this end. And so this is a great way to hold it. And then with some of the shorter handles, the brush can go right there. But with the longer ones, you know, it goes right there. So I found these two cradle pieces right there, curves, have just fit all the brushes, and it's pretty cool. I really enjoy the design. Well, there we go. I've got some more work to do tonight, so I'm going to go take care of that. I still haven't put any post-shave on, and face feels great. I could very easily walk out of this shave without any product. Check for closeness. It felt really good. Oh, yep. I barely see any tips at all, much less, you know, there's nothing with any length on it. And usually I report that I see the dots and the tips. But now this shave was so close that that I don't see a whole lot of tips. They're cut flush or better. And that was an easy shave, super comfortable, no irritation at all. So this combo, I've gotten this shave before with more aggressive settings, but this gave it to me with smoothness and comfort. So this might be a magic combo for me at least. So the Kai and a mild razor head. In this case, the Wolfman WR1 at a .54 gap. So awesome, really nice. Well, I hope that something about this shave helped you out. Whether you're a Cella fan or interested in it, or you were thinking about the Stirling Badger brush. This was the bulb shape. The fan shape is also very popular, and these are maybe $18, I think. This one was classified as a shedder because they inspected it after they assembled the brush. It didn't come on this handle, it came on another one. I had to cut it off. I had to cut off the default handle. But I saved like 10 bucks on it because they had, you know, combed through the knot and more hairs fell out than met their standards. And so I saved money on it, but I haven't had zero problems. Just an average amount of hair, maybe 2 or 3 per shave. But since we're talking about the first 7 shaves, it's nothing to worry about. I don't even think about hair loss until maybe the 60th shave or something like that. And so for me, worked out great getting a factory seconds type of brush. So I'm really happy about that. So this is I was saying this is the bulb shape, and I personally like it. The fan shape may be nice. The fan shape has more corners, so bulb, fan. And the fan shape is a lot of people love it, and for good reason. When you're doing this kind of motion back and forth like this, then you get a really nice wall of soft tips. However, I've discovered that when I then switch to the painting, the corners of the fan, they just kind of push the lather around instead of leaving it on my skin. And so usually I prefer the bulb type knot. And so there's just wanted to illustrate the difference there. So there we go. We're good. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. You take care. Have a good night, and we will see you in the Lather Games shave next time. Bye.